Hi, everyone. I hope you're all doing well tonight. Welcome to the Greater Eastwood Livable Center Study, or as we like to call it, Live Viva Greater Eastwood. If you'll bear with me for 1 second, I'm going to start sharing my screen just so we can go ahead and have it up. Let's see here. Technical. I'm learning how to do this as we go, everyone. Okay, well, let's do introductions first, and I'll figure out how to share my screen for the presentation after that. Okay, so hi, my name is Shada Libhart. I am the project manager for Live Viva Greater Eastwood. Oops. Sorry about that. I am super excited about this project, and I hope you all are as well. And I hope you're excited to learn more and to provide us with your feedback, because that's why we're here tonight. And to kick us off, I am going to introduce Veronica Chapa-Gorczynski, who is the president of the East End District. She has been a great partner along with everyone at the district in making sure that this project is reflective of the community and that it is a project that we can really use and build a really great community around. So with that, Veronica, would you like to say hello?
Sure. Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Veronica Chapa-Gorczynski, and I'm the president of the East End District. This plan has been years in the making, and we are so honored and humbled that we get to work on great projects with community members like you. We know it's been a long day. You've probably had to balance work, kiddos, and all sorts of things. So that you're spending time with us is special. Know that we thank you, we appreciate you, we're part of our community, and we're proud to be and serve in the East End. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thanks, Veronica. So in normal times, we would be engaging with everyone in the community in person, being out with you guys at the community centers or fun places in the community, to figure out what is it that you want most. But because of COVID, we are online only, but we wanted to just take a second and all of our project team members say hi. So you see that we're not a bunch of robots here. Do we want to go ahead and start introducing ourselves, Jessica?
Sure. Hello, everyone. I'm Jessica Wiggins. I'm on the TEI team, and I'll be managing the chat tonight. So if you have any thoughts or comments, put them in the chat and we'll get to you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Adam Scott. I'm with SWA. We've been helping out the project team, looking at parks and open space. It's been great to be working in the community.
Afternoon, my name is Dan Joyce. I am the Director of Public Affairs at the East End District, and I will be monitoring the Facebook chat this evening.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jose Eduardo Sanchez. I'm with Picolot. We're part of the community engagement team, and I'll be on tech support tonight.
Hi, everyone. My name is Carolina Ramos, and I'm with Tecolot as well. And I mostly deal with community engagement, and I'm taking notes for tonight. Yay.
Great. Hi, and I'm Chelsea Young. I'm with TEI on the planning team for this effort too. And we're excited to get started here in a few minutes. But before we do, we wanted to go through a quick few technology things. First one is this is being recorded. So just so you know, you can go back and watch it at a time when it's more convenient if you need to pop off. We are live here on Zoom as well as Facebook Live. So if you have comments or questions or anything like that as we go, put them in the chat box on Zoom or Facebook. You know how to do that, hopefully. And I ask that everyone be muted for now, and then we might get into some Q&A that might be a little more interactive where we can unmute ourselves later on in the presentation. We also have some live polling that we'll do at the end of the presentation where we'll ask some questions specific about what has been presented and kind of get your opinions. So we'll provide that login information. You can either do it on the website or through text. I highly recommend doing it through the website. We found earlier it's probably just easier and more intuitive. So we'll provide that in the chat here in a few minutes. So if you have any questions or even technology issues, put that in the chat as well, and we'll respond as quickly as we can. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Chelsea. Okay, I'm going to try this again and share my screen. Perhaps. All right, here we go. Let's get started with the presentation. So again, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. So you may be asking yourself, what is this project? I'm gonna stop my video because I'm flickering a little bit on my end. So hopefully that'll keep my computer from buffering, just in case anyone is curious. So what is this project? What is Live Viva Greater Eastwood? It's an effort to plan for the future for the Greater Eastwood community. It factors in our mobility options and how people of all ages, all abilities can get to the places we want to go. It takes into account the parks, open spaces, and natural environment. Am I sharing my screen?
No,
Sorry.
you're not.
No, okay. Okay. Sorry, let's try this one more time.
I can share mine if you need, Shada, and you can.
Shouldn't. I thought it was, maybe I accidentally double clicked the wrong screen. Okay, can you guys see that?
Yes.
Okay, now let's make this bigger. Maybe I can't make it bigger. All right, Chelsea, can you still see that? All right, we're good to go now. So it factors in, it takes into account the parks and open spaces, the natural environment around us, and asks how can we leverage these and create more of them. It pulls in the unique culture and history of the community and identifies ways to incorporate that into more public places to broaden the community feel. And it builds on the significant investments that have been made in the community already, like the light rail lines, and thinks about how can we leverage those to meet the growing needs for the future. But to accomplish it, we went to the community this past spring and we asked for your thoughts and ideas. And we heard a lot of great information. It really solidified the things that we saw when we did our data analysis and when we spent time in the community. So now what we're doing is building on your ideas and creating recommendations to be able to put those ideas into action. But how do we do that? We've identified several key areas that separately can improve the community, but when they're brought together and when these ideas build off of each other, we can truly enhance the sense of place, increase the opportunities available to people for working and living, and really overall increase the livability of Greater Eastwood. I'm going to walk us through an example that really shows how all of these pieces fit together to accomplish that goal. So we're starting with roads, and it's just a road, but roads are the backbones of our community. They connect us and they take us to all the places we want to go, both near and far. But when we add comfortable, safe sidewalks and bikeways, people who don't drive now have mobility options to get to school, the doctor, the store, all kinds of places. And whenever we provide these options, we see people that use them. Whenever we have more people out in the community, and whenever they're able to get to more destinations in a variety of ways, not just walking or not just driving, but using transit or biking too, we see more viable economic development opportunities in the community. There we go. But then whenever we build on that even more and we add trees and green spaces, we enhance the comfort and desirability of the destinations and the businesses themselves. And ultimately, whenever we bring in amenities that encourage people to spend more time in an area, like seating, art, signage, shade from all the trees, we can create a place that reinforces the community, the culture, and enhances the livability for everyone. So what are we actually recommending? Now that we've seen kind of how these components work together, I'll talk a little bit more about each of these recommendations that we've developed. So we've categorized all of our recommendations into 6 primary categories that build on each other to create a livable community. These recommendations are designed to be aspirational and forward-thinking, yet attainable. So let's go through them a little bit more one by one. So first we have that Greater Eastwood is anchored by great streets. Great streets support economic opportunity, mobility, access, safety for people of all ages and all abilities. And when we reimagine corridors, we have the potential to strengthen that safety, to enhance the access to existing businesses in the fabric of the community. We can get to new destinations and then attract new development that's aligned with the community's goals. You'll see in this map, there's 2 different colors on several of these primary corridors in the study area. The blue ones are what we call livable streets, and these are kind of like a main street or places where there's a lot of different activity going on. And then we also have the pink lines, which are connection corridors. And these are really important streets that connect people to a variety of destinations to help them access schools and businesses and really just kind of really reach out into the community to get people where they want to go. Oh. And so the pictures here are some example designs that we've identified and come up with that kind of highlight how that might actually look. So the top 2 relate to the connection corridors a little bit more specifically. You can see that there's sidewalks, maybe some buffer spaces, specific bike lanes that are protected from vehicle traffic. And then we also have parking as an option in one of them too. Parking is important for a lot of businesses and for houses whenever we have residential areas. The bottom two photos or images kind of highlight what a main street might look like, or what one of those livable streets might look like whenever we really enhance the connectivity and also the placemaking, adding signage and adding great bus stops, adding even green elements like a rain garden. So our second recommendation is that Greater Eastwood is active and healthy. Really, this relates to places for people to play, have social connections, and enhance the community health and environmental resiliency. These are all essential for developing great places that are active and healthy and have a high quality of life. Greater Eastwood has many opportunities to enhance community health and resiliency by increasing tree canopy coverage, enhancing park spaces, providing social spaces for community interaction, and even something like daylighting Slaughter Pen Bayou, for example. By bringing out the natural elements and embracing them and bringing them out from underneath the ground to where we can see them and everybody can enjoy them, we can increase our resiliency, but also our quality of life and create great places that people want to actually be out in. Our third recommendation is that Greater Eastwood is a hub for education. There are 11 schools in the area, and we see a significant amount of students and families that are trying to get to school every day. So creating safe corridors for kids to walk or bike to school and not have to rely on getting dropped off is really important. Developing access plans and working with our schools to make sure that safety and accessibility is promoted and it's incorporated into projects that are happening around the community is really essential. But then also programmatic elements like incorporating the schools and students and gathering data on a regular basis and getting the students themselves to help collect the data and assess the condition of the sidewalks and bikeways in the community and tell us where is it that they're wanting to go? How can we help them get there better? These really enable the kids to become a part of the community and to start weaving in that social fabric early on. So our fourth recommendation is that Greater Eastwood is a connected and walkable community. Connected networks provide mobility choices. They reinforce opportunities for people to access schools, parks, shopping, jobs, etc. This recommendation really builds off of the backbone of great streets, and it starts reaching out into the neighborhoods where people live and getting them that access to those main corridors. Greater Eastwood has the potential to be one of the most walkable, transit and bike-friendly neighborhoods in Houston. With a connected street grid, frequent transit services, and opportunities to improve places for people to walk and bike, Greater Eastwood will become a place with abundant access and safer connections. Supporting connectivity provides mobility choices for people of all ages, abilities, and incomes. Our fifth recommendation is that Greater Eastwood is a place with a strong and vibrant culture. The Greater Eastwood community is known for its culture and history, and placemaking is one way that we can enhance the public realm through physical, cultural, and social identifiers that define a place and support its continued evolution. Through signage, gateways, public art, furnishings, unique materials, and more, Greater Eastwood can showcase its community culture and continue to build on it for the future. Our last recommendation is that Greater Eastwood is rich with opportunities for the future. The community is primed for building on infrastructure and transit investments. These investments can become catalytic opportunities, providing economic and job opportunities and housing options. We see a lot of large industrial tracts that are likely to redevelop over time. And these are new opportunities to enhance the neighborhood and to really incorporate the needs that we're hearing from the community. TOD is an option here. It's walkable, dense, mixed-use development around high-quality, frequent transit. Oh. Sorry, everyone. I got startled. My electricity just came back on after the last several hours. So hopefully you don't hear any random noises for stuff turning on. So anyways, back to this. Not only is TOD around really frequent transit options, such as the Eastwood Transit Center and the future improvements that are slated to happen there, an opportunity, but it's also an opportunity to promote local businesses and to think about the variety of housing needs that are required in the community or that people are demanding in the community, and think about ways that we can incorporate them into these potentially new spaces. So I'm going to pause here for just a second, and I'd like for everyone to take a look at these photos. Is that really loud? It's really loud for me. My printer is going off. Sorry. So these photos represent some renderings and visualizations that we've developed that kind of highlight how these different recommendations and ideas can be implemented and what that might actually mean to the community. Once we can visualize some of these changes, it makes it easier to see what is it that we would really like. And not only that, but what do we think should happen first? So this kind of represents public spaces and plazas and great walkable sidewalks and intersection crossings and incorporating green and natural aesthetics into our community. So with that, I'm going to give you guys a call to action. We need you. We're asking for your input through September 8th. And we really want to know, what is it that you like? What is it that you want to be prioritized? What's important to you? We have an online survey that's available today. And we want you, all of your friends, all of your neighbors, coworkers to fill it out. And we also are going to be posting this presentation and tomorrow's presentation in Spanish on the website, along with additional details about some of these recommendations that I've highlighted for you today. Please go to our website. It is www.eastenddistrict.com/Greater Eastwood Livable Center Study. Also, in a few minutes, we're going to be doing some interactive feedback. So go ahead and get ready for that. Online, you can go to pollev.com/TEI poll, or you can text TEI poll to the number 22333. Again, we can't do this without you, and we can't do this without the community. So everyone that you know, please encourage them to fill out the survey and to ask questions and participate in this process. And now I'm going to turn it over to Chelsea to do the interactive activity.
Great, thank you, Shada. All right, Jose Eduardo, I am disabled to screen share, so I might need your help with that, please. But while we're waiting for that, again, you can either do this through texting or through online, and all of it's in the chat. So it might be easier to copy that website and put it into your browser if you're on your computer, or texting is an option, but it'll lead you to the website for some of the questions that are a little more open-ended. So here we go. I have access now, and we will get going. We will eventually get going. All right, here we go. All right, so again, at the top is instructions if you need them. So type in A, B, C, D, or E for how you heard about today's meeting. Facebook through the East End District's website is B, through a community organization or a community leader, C. wait, I thought this was Meet the Teacher night since school's starting for everyone soon, sort of. Or E, other. This is kind of a warm-up question, so take your time, kind of get familiar with how it works, and we'll move on to the next question that's a little more specific. So for those of you who are on the text message, you should have received a text response after you typed in TEI poll that says you've joined Jeff Carlton's session, and when you're done, reply leave. So in there, if you didn't receive that, then feel free to ask us a question in the chat. We can troubleshoot with you. And then also for our open-ended questions later, there'll be a link for you to go online. All right, so it looks like we are split from Facebook or from the Easton District's website. So that is great. That is good to know. We'll take your responses and hold it close to our hearts. The next question is specific to our project here, and it's a word cloud. So anything that you type in will show up here. And some of the words that are repeated from multiple users will be bigger words in the word cloud. So what are you most excited about seeing come to reality out of the recommendations presented? Some examples could be of things we heard about are bike lanes, economic development improvements, opportunities for schools. We've got 2 so far showing up, sidewalks, trails. I'll give you guys a few minutes. I know our Facebook folks are a little bit delayed compared to the Zoom. We've got trees, connected. And sometimes if you type in a whole phrase, it might only show up one of the words. So one word responses will show up probably better. All right, looks like we might be slowing down. Trails coming up big, which means multiple people have mentioned that. That's great. Sidewalks connected, affordable housing, parks and trees. All right. Okay, we'll move on to the next question. Thank you for your replies. Oh, there's a lot more that popped up. Safety, culture, handicap accessibility, gentrification, again, affordable, trails still being the largest. Great, this is really helpful information. Good job, everyone. Moving on. The next question is an open-ended one. So the question is, if Telephone Road was redesigned as a main street, which features would you be most excited about? So you can write in your idea, and then others can comment, or not comment, but give you a thumbs up or a thumbs down if they like what you're writing. Again, this is probably best done on the website versus text. I'll give you guys a few minutes to put in. Seating, that's good. Better sidewalks, great. And if you put in your responses, feel free, you can put a thumbs up or thumbs down on other responses. Kind of helps see what the priorities are. Walking, shared bicycle lanes, more mom and pop shops, cultural murals. Those are great. Telephone has such potential, as we kind of see through the study effort, that it'd be really exciting to see a lot more walkability and things like that. So and places to bike as well. All right. Okay, we're slowing down here, so we'll close that. Move on to the next one. Again, another thumbs up, thumbs down with open-ended response. What are your favorite ideas for how Greater Eastwood could become more active and healthy? Type in your ideas and then provide any thumbs up or thumbs down on the responses you see. Trails. definitely. Safe sidewalks for kids to parks and schools. Definitely making those connections available to people to the parks is very important. More parks and green spaces, also good ways to be active and healthy. All right, in a few more seconds. Trees, definitely. If I was thumbs upping, I would thumbs up that one. Road humps to slow down Amazon so people can bicycle and walk without Amazon running stop signs. That is fair. Those guys are really fast usually. More parks and green spaces. All right. And outdoor community events. All right, great. We'll close this up. Thank you for your replies. Our next one is to be more walkable and connected community. Which improvement do you think is most needed? A, sidewalk and safe crossing improvements. B, enhanced bus stop access and experience. C, a well-connected bike network. D, expanded bike share with new strategic stations throughout Greater Eastwood. Or E, none of the above. Should say this for any of these. If anyone has comments or things that we should have added as multiple choice, please feel free to write them in the chat as well, and we can chat about them after this little poll. So definitely safe crossing improvements, sidewalks, bike networks. All right, let's see if we have a few more before we close it. Anyone have any transit hopes for the area? All right. We'll close this one. Thank you. The next one, multiple choice. What could be the most effective way to support Greater Eastwood's strong and vibrant culture? A, provide signage supporting neighborhood branding. B, provide local wayfinding to know how to get around or find local destinations. C, encourage and formalize more community-oriented events. D, encourage historic preservation. Or E, none of the above. And definitely there are more ways to support the strong and vibrant culture, and feel free to put those in the chat box as well. All right, we're pretty much tied right now. Let's see if we can get a tiebreaker before we move on. Oh. All right. Okay, we got a comment from someone on Facebook to not overflood Eastwood with rental bikes or scooters. It's a good comment. Thank you. All right, looks like historic preservation might have won this one. And then to encourage local economic growth and housing options, what strategies do you think will be most important? This is another open-ended one with thumbs up, thumbs down. So ideally type this in on the website and we can comment thumbs up, thumbs down. First one is promote local businesses and shopping locally. It's a really good one. Give this one a few more seconds. I know there's a little bit of a lag for Facebook. Another one is encourage housing for people of all ages so they can stay in the community. Very good. So they can age in place. That's great. Affordable living, affordable housing options. These are very, very important issues here in the greater Eastwood area. And encouraging housing for people of all ages. Oh, we said that one, it just moved. Definitely, I think the affordable housing discussion is very strong. A few more seconds and we'll close this poll. More entertainment places and groceries. Another comment that we received on Facebook is desire for less gentrification and more culture and historic preservation. Thank you for that comment. All right, looks like, again, affordable housing and discussion is very strong here. We're gonna wrap up this poll. And now we're back at the beginning, so I'll stop sharing here. We've recorded those responses and we appreciate you entertaining the poll EV. And I'll shoot it back to Shada and the team for some Q&A.
Thanks, Chelsea. And thank you everyone who provided comments and thoughts in that. It's really helpful for us to see your opinions and what's important to you. So we want to take the next however long, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, and answer any questions that you have. We want to make sure that you guys have opportunities to interact with us and get any thoughts that you have out. So if it's not a question and it's just a comment that you want to make sure we're aware of and are thinking about, please go ahead and you can post that in the chat on Zoom or on Facebook. I'll also reiterate here that please remember to go to the project website. You can get to it just by going to eastenddistrict.com and you can find our project page there. We really need as many people as possible to take the survey. We are going to have more information up there for you. So if you want to dive a little bit more into the recommendations, we'll have that available. And please remember to make sure everyone that you know that lives in the community, works in the community, or goes to school in Eastwood is aware of this and that they provide their opinions as well. So I'm not seeing any comments yet or any questions. I'll give you guys another couple of minutes. I'll go ahead and say too that the next steps that we have for this project are to finish building out the recommendations and take your input with that and figure out what are the priorities. How can we actually implement the recommendations and develop a plan around that and then wrap everything up all together by the end of October. So you'll have another opportunity in the October timeframe to actually see all of this put together. But until then, we want to make sure that any thoughts you have, any questions or ideas on what needs to be done and when and what's important to you gets incorporated.
Shada, we've got a couple questions from Facebook from Judith.
Okay.
The first is less gentrification and more culture and historic preservation. And then how are you deciding on what street should need to be more walkable or where a bike lane should go?
That's a great question. So I'll go ahead and what streets need to be more walkable. I think that overall, we can say every street should ideally be walkable. However, we are prioritizing streets that are connecting neighborhoods to businesses, that are connecting to transit facilities and schools especially. And then not only just directly to schools, but that are within kind of a walkable area around schools and that are connecting to parks as well. So we're really trying to understand the variety of destinations and the number of destinations that certain corridors are providing access to and prioritize them in the initial list of what would be recommended. And then as far as the bike facilities go, the Easton District is actually getting ready to embark on a full district-wide bike plan. So we have prioritized a couple of really key corridors that we think could be really great bike facilities in the long term as opportunities that the district can go ahead and start working towards. One of those would be Dumble as a good neighborhood bikeway because it connects multiple parks and it also connects people to Telephone Road and to transit connections along Polk Street. But then bike connections along Leland and continuing that out to Telephone and then Lawndale and across all the way to Brays Bayou could be really important. So the district, though, with their bike plan is going to dive into this a little bit more in depth and provide a lot of those specifics in that plan that's coming up in the next, I think they're getting ready to start on it in the next month or two, and that'll probably be happening over the next 8 to 10, maybe 12 months.
And we have another question from Suzanne. Will this address Metro and protect Mason Park from the rail?
This does address Metro in some ways, in the sense of how can we leverage their stops? How can we make some of the bus stops more accessible and more comfortable for waiting? It does have some ideas for coordinating with Metro in the future about BRT and incorporating some of their enhanced corridors, like their boost corridors, and how can those really be incorporated into the design of a corridor. But we're not really extending that beyond to any other recommendations that are not specific to any existing facilities and bus stops within the study area. But I think that this project does give a good framework of how can the community work with an agency such as Metro to encourage them to build the things that they want to see in the community, and also how to do that in a way that is most appropriate for the surrounding land uses and neighborhoods.
A comment from Judith says, love the idea of Lawndale Telephone and Leland. I've been asking for that for many years. Great connector from Magnolia to Eastwood to downtown.
Thanks for that. I think it's definitely a great corridor that is underappreciated right now. It needs a little bit of love. That's my personal opinion. Anything else coming up? Okay, well, we'll give it just another couple minutes in case anybody has any other thoughts that pop up. Thank you guys very much for your comments and your questions. I hope we've been able to provide helpful answers, and I hope you're excited about this project and tell all of your friends and family about it. And so with that, I think we'll go ahead and stop for the evening. But if there are any lingering questions, again, go to the website. You can also email the project team at hello@eastenddistrict.com. And you can provide us with any other thoughts there. We're going to be providing all of the questions that we received tonight and tomorrow online. So you can come back and check out what other people have asked and how we're addressing that in the study. So thanks, everyone. I hope you have a great night.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.